Hello everyone, we're having Rick Scuotto with us today. Hello Rick, great to see you.
Hello everybody.
So, we met last year in this Learn One Thing event, and this year we're still trying to learn something new, trying to discover something new. And this year, the topic that came to your mind, and that's something new, was, I put it shortly as covert stuttering.
Okay.
So, can you share why this comes to your mind? How does that relate to you in particular?
Okay, well, covert stuttering. I never really heard the term covert stuttering. When I was in speech therapy, which was only during the school years that I've had it, that topic never came up. But a couple months ago, I was attending a NSA conference, and people started to mention it. I was like, okay, what is it? But then as different people started to talk about it, then I thought, oh, so that's what it is. And it was like, kind of like when a person tries to hide their stutter or switch out words with different words, or try to be fluent all the time, which it's very difficult. But those were some of the same things that I had been doing for years.
Right.
But never knew that there was an actual name for it.
Yeah, and to be honest, I would say that this element of, as you said, hiding, switching, avoiding, trying, pretending to be fluent, I would say that this is like somehow very naturally it's just part of stuttering. I don't think that there is anybody who stutters that escaped this part or stage, if you would, because some grow out of the stage and become more overt, like feeling okay about it. Yes. But probably there is no way to escape this part of stuttering. How do you feel for yourself? Where are you on this journey if we take this particular element of stuttering?
Well, before I knew what it was, I had been doing it for years. But since the middle of 2018, I have started slowly to venture out. I'm trying to accept my stutter. And I don't know what that looks like for me to accept it. But I'm just trying to be more open with it. For instance, when I was in high school, in my senior year, I was doing a stage crew, okay, and we were doing a musical. For me, I was fine being behind the scenes. That's where my comfort zone was. The stage was not. And two, nowadays, I will volunteer at our church to help with sound, which is behind the scenes, where I'm comfortable. But since 2018, I kind of switched it to be comfortable behind the scenes still, but trying to be more comfortable in front of the camera.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I watch your videos, and what's like the shift that maybe starts for, maybe that's a good way to start. Actually, you actually named your page, I think, the channel and the page, the Stuttering Designer. So you're like saying it openly. And can you share, how did that idea come to you to actually be that open? Because oftentimes we're like, okay, maybe I'll open up here, but naming your page, your channel, and being like this, like, what helped you to make that step?
Okay, well, it kind of started out with watching YouTube and watching certain YouTube channels where these YouTubers would do vlogs, where they would take a camera and walk around and talk about certain things. And I was thinking, okay, that's not that difficult. I'll just try it, see what happens. Just try it. So I tried it a few times on my phone, and one of them I did on a topic of what was the difference between RGB and CMYK. And that particular video, I must have done 30 plus takes. But they weren't full takes. They were just snippets, because I would start it, go through it, or part of the way, something went wrong or something, and I'd have to redo it. That one didn't get made until a while later, when I was doing them more frequently. But I had did a couple with never having the intent to put them online and share them. Let me just try it, see how it is, see how bad it is going to be, really. But I was like, okay, so I tried it, but then it got more and more, and then it came to a point of, okay, I'm a stuttering person, and my passion is design. Okay, trying to be unique and stuff, I put them together as a stuttering designer.
Yeah, Gotcha. And I also, at some point, watched your videos about a small event or like stuttering awareness, public speaking, where you spoke to a group of people about stuttering. Can you share how did that feel? How did that? Yeah, what did they? What did it mean for you? How did it go?
Well, as the stuttering designer videos increased, it got to the point where I wanted to discuss stuttering awareness outside of the videos.
Mm-hmm.
So then I connected with a good friend of ours, and we had a small house gathering.
Mm-hmm.
And I had did one of the scripts that I used there, and it got everyone was very pleased with it. And then this last Christmas at our church, I did one there as well, and there was about 40 to 50 people there.
Wow.
It was like when I was doing it, I was more focused on the script, not really the audience, but looking at the audience, but more focused on the script and what I was saying. And it felt good. It felt good.
Do you feel that? Because again, that's a big question, to disclose or not to disclose in real life when you actually like get to the point where it becomes obvious and people sometimes don't know how to react. Like, what's this? Not everyone knows what stuttering is. And some people say, again, we talked with Chris Jackson, Ayo, Callum today, and there is the line of thought that they're using their techniques which make it also obvious that the speech is their speech is different. So they don't need to disclose. What's your view or feeling about this? Do you find it helpful to disclose sometimes, or how do you deal with the situation where people are a bit maybe puzzled or something?
This was another thing that I was doing, but didn't know until a conference. It was all my life. I've never disclosed it. Not to new people, because I wanted them to look at me normal, not as weird, a freak. So I wouldn't use techniques. I would just talk, and however it comes out, it comes out. And I'm sure there has been people kind of like, okay, what's happening kind of thing. But two, I'm sure that they would figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
One of my big struggles, which is in my whole life, is that the eye contact. It's hard for me to do that. And more so when I'm in that struggle, that block. It's very difficult for me to keep that eye contact, especially knowing that they're keeping it on me.
Actually, when you're making videos, it's kind of, that's a great exercise because you naturally have to watch at the camera when you're making your video, or this eye contact is getting normalized, becomes regular and natural, and but as you say, it's really this eye contact thing probably happens in those moments where we in our mind try to be normal, or we try to be perfect, we try to be whatever in our mind to the other person, and we realize that at that moment we're not perfect, we're not normal, we're different, and that kind of moves us away. So it's really hard to be present in that moment.
Yes.
So to be present, probably, again, the big thing is to really feel it's okay to be me, to be here, to interact, which is a big, again, mind game, to really feel it. Can I ask you, maybe coming back to our topic about covert stuttering, you said that you didn't even know the term, and I'm sure most of us, again, don't quite feel that this is happening, to full extent. That we're hiding, we're avoiding something, or what's your view? Or maybe you would say that it's obvious to us that this is happening.
Well, it's like when I was doing it, I didn't know what I was doing, but now a name has been put to it, so it kind of makes me aware of it having a name and just not doing different things.
Yeah. And you mentioned the NSA conference, and was it the first time? That was the first time, I think, for you. How, in this year, it was online, it was not in person. But what was your feeling around so many people who stutter? How did that feel?
Overwhelming. Because I had never been around people who stuttered, but so many of them.
Yeah.
It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
But in two, it felt safe, a safe place to be who you are and to speak however you do.
And, and talking about safe and like feeling safe, feelings, can we touch the topic of bullying and how people react? So obviously, for many people, I think the school and college, especially the school, is maybe one of the hardest periods where, again, people like kids are not so like not so understanding, right? So can I ask you about like, what's your experience with that and how to actually deal with that? Because it probably happens to some extent to every person who stutters.
Well, yeah, it did. And this was one of those things that I thought about too. In my opinion, is that you didn't hear the word bullying and harassment and stuff until the creation maybe of social media. But doesn't mean that it didn't happen before. They just didn't have a name for it. Most of my schooling, bullying, happened in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
There was one time, I'm not sure which grade I was in, but it was doing summer school, which is a very short time period. And I'm not sure if it was the first day or not, but I had went into class and this kid was teasing me, so I left. I went home and told one of my older sisters and my grandmother, and then all three of us went back to the school. And they had talked to, I think, like the principal, mm-hmm. and had me switch to a different classroom. And actually, in that one, I met a kid, and his dad took us to a Angels and Astro baseball game. It's like, wow. Oh, that was cool. But there was another time on the last day of school of my sixth grade, which was the end of elementary school. This kid had teased me, bullied me the whole year. And most of the time, I would just, yeah, whatever, kind of thing. And he started in on me on the last day, and we were inside the classroom. And usually, I'm not a person who starts fights or fights in school and stuff. But that day, he just got to me, and we started a little squabble fight and stuff.
Wow.
And the teacher had to break it up. But I noticed that the kids that were bullying me, they weren't my normal friends that I hung around with, because the ones that I hung around with wouldn't really bully me because they knew about it and they were fine with it. But it was the ones that I didn't hang around with. Those were the ones.
Yeah. So, and again, with kids, it's really hard to again judge kids because kids are wired a bit differently. These days, like coming back to stuttering awareness. So, do you feel that people understand when they met, when they meet, when they see this happening? Do you feel that in general people understand what's going on, or there is sometimes lack of understanding what's really going on?
I think when they know about it, they are more understanding of it. It's when they don't know about it is when they kind of like act according to that. There's been times that I thought about they should have some sort of course or something in schools to teach students what to look for or how to interact with people who stutter. Either in high school, junior high, or elementary, somewhere to teach kids what it is and how to act around a person who stutters.
And yeah, so this is about like people around. Coming back to us, like some people say that everything that happens in our life, even the negative experiences, they happen for a reason, and there is some lesson to learn, or it makes us stronger or better. Like, do you feel that there is something in stuttering to learn to make us stronger, better? What's like, is there like, do you see something that's like the reason we can take and like maybe see for ourselves?
Well, it depends on the person. Each person will handle it differently. At times, having a stutter will force them, encourage them to let's say, go out of their own comfort zone to try to make that comfort zone that they're normal to stronger, to then go out a little bit further to strengthen it. That's what I was trying to do and still am doing to strengthen my comfort zone of doing these videos. To have it kind of like my own personal speech therapy.
Yeah.
To strengthen it.
Gotcha. Yeah. And if you had a chance to talk to yourself back in the day, maybe at like in school, when you were in school, when like again when it was hard, what would you say to yourself?
I would say, don't let the kids dictate your life. You have value in this world. You can do whatever you want. Just try.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I love that, because I have, comments all the time, like that pretty much come to the idea that it's hard. What can I do? And there is no simple answer. So it's really a journey of building something in yourself so that you can really be present and do in life what you want to do, which is again hard because stuttering feels like a lot of pressure that puts you in a smaller space, and you always try to enlarge, make that space bigger for yourself, not letting it consume that space. So that's beautiful. Maybe last question. I don't want to take much of your time. How did you feel joining this live?
Well, nervous.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because we always feel some anxiety, nervousness. I was nervous. Like everyone is nervous. You see, the question is how we deal with that, how we respond.
Yeah, I was nervous, but also excited about having the chance to do it for one more year, but also having the opportunity to discuss stuttering awareness again on a platform that can reach all over the world.
Yeah, wow. Thank you so much, Rick. It's absolutely amazing to see you. Hope we'll continue our journey and see where it goes. So thank you so much. Thanks everyone who's been watching or will watch. And let's keep in touch.